Good morning. My name is Frank Baker. I run a national media literacy website, and I do professional development for teachers and students all over the United States. Do you think the school system in Bhutan is now receptive for media education? Even UNESCO has a strong media education program. So do you think now is a good time?
I think now is an excellent time. Although I spent the last 6 months sort of negotiating with education officials, I even went to see the minister, everyone suddenly thought, it took them a while to understand what I was talking about. And when they understood, they said, it's a great idea, but we really don't know how to integrate this into our curriculum because everything is printed, published, and planned, for many years ahead. So that's why I decided that maybe the best way is to pilot and make it media clubs in the beginning. And then once we've gained enough experience to scale up and then maybe to get into curriculum, the formal curriculum. Then in terms of media education, the university in Bhutan is now considering introducing communications for undergraduates. Thank you.
Yeah. Yes. Very interesting comments. And as you know, we have been discussing how we can adapt all this to a global audience. From your perspective, who would be the best professionals to train the teachers in Bhutan and probably in other countries, which, as you know, might not expect the same thing from the media as a democracy a lot more established and used to the news, because you have a different audience.
You're asking who would be the best people to train the teachers.
Exactly. Can we have an international framework for news literacy in different environments and audiences?
First of all, in Bhutan's case, I think this idea of a news literacy, it struck me yesterday, listening to all of you, that I should even be piloting and running a course like this with the reporters. And we should actually be doing this with the teachers, because our teachers who are teaching our next generation have very little understanding of media, new media, how do you read messages, and about politics, and about engaging in society. Many of them think they don't have a role in writing into the papers. And our young people, when they do engage on radio and on callback shows, it's really interesting. They're all anonymous. They have, really nice nicknames, Romeo, Virus, Punk. I mean, it's so Western. It's just so fascinating listening to them. So news literacy, I think, eventually has to be provided for a cross-section of society, from parents to teachers, working professionals. So in terms of a global framework, I think we discussed this in our group discussion yesterday. I think it's really hard to have a really refined and defined sort of curriculum that would suit every country. I think we just need to have a much broader idea about what is our general goal, what do we want to get out of it, and then to enable each society to actually address their own needs and to develop cases that are pertinent, to themselves. Otherwise, I think the gentleman mentioned UNESCO. UNESCO did develop this journalism curriculum, and there's been a lot of debate. Does it apply to everyone? A lot of people find it very hard to introduce in their own countries. So I think it's the same thing. What would be useful, I think, in a global forum, is to refine our thoughts and try and figure out what is it that we want to achieve. What is our vision for the future? How can we inspire a more enlightened society? And then with that, I think, we should give everyone the liberty to do it a bit differently. Yeah.
David Mindich, you used a word that I don't think has been used by any other presenter, happiness. So I'm wondering to what extent all these media, mainly from other countries, and then the new news media, how has it affected happiness based on what you've seen so far?
I think it's defined for us a new meaning to the word happiness. Actually, in Bhutanese, there's no real word for happiness. I think the closest is like contentment. But now with happiness, and because this is actually a pun on GDP, right? This is something that the fourth king said. A reporter went up to him and said, "What is your country's GDP?" He says, "That's not very important. GNH, gross national happiness, is more important. So it's a pun on that. But the problem with happiness and with new media that's coming in, I think it's creating, it's showing us, different definitions of happiness. To be happy, you need to look hip. You have to have an iPod. You have to eat at McDonald's, I don't know. All these new things, a lot of new values that our young people are trying to filter and understand. The parents have no idea. They think that TV is great. Everything there must be good. It's educating our children. You mustn't forget that we're a very small, isolated community, and being in contact with the world is important. So they don't, the level of trust is amazing. So we really need to make them a little more thinking about the kind of diet, the media diet that they have.